Welcome to Sirius's training series. This video will cover using explorers and dashboards to monitor and update jobs. To this point, you've been using control mostly to create test estimates and test orders. So one of the key aspects is always how do we go back and find those orders, either to make updates, change their position of where they are within the shop, or to get information back for either the client, our CSR type setup, or for production. The first resource available to you is your dashboard, and your dashboard can be a combination of things depending on what job or what function you have within your particular shop. The dashboard I am displaying on the screen right now is a very simple example of what a dashboard can do. For any specifics of how you can rearrange your dashboard for your shop, please reach out to your consulting startup point person so that they can discuss the more specifics of what you need for your shop. Some of my favorite instruments that I have here on the screen being displayed. First is the shortcut menu, basically quick access to things that you do most often within the shop. It could be actions within the system, such as locking your screen. Really important if you are a front desk type person, your computer is accessible to the public. Maybe I need to step away from my desk really quick to go check on something in the back. I can lock my screen and make sure that customers don't have access to any of my financial information. You can also link to websites. So, for example, the customer website here would go to Sirius.com/customer. And so any common resources, maybe vendor websites or things of that nature that you may reference for pricing, can definitely be a resource there for you. Also, you can have reports that maybe you run every day or fairly often. You can have quick links to those options here as well. So in this case, I'm running a WIP report, I'm running the WIP by order station, pulls up my preview screen for me. Then I can preview, print, email, or save depending on what I need to do within that time period. The second instrument that I have available here on my desktop or my dashboard is the quick lookup screen. So if a customer is calling in and wants to know the status of a certain job, or maybe they want to reorder a certain job or something of that nature, and they have the order number or estimate number available, you can type it directly in this box, hit enter, and it'll open that job for you, and you can do or perform any actions that you need to. You can edit the job, you can void it out if they're not going to move forward with the job. You can clone it if you need to start over, print a report if you need to send them something, or you can change the status or just see where that job is within the shop. If they don't have the order number, you do have a little magnifying glass here that will open up, in this case, your Order Explorer, so you can do a more advanced search for their particular information. And we give you a couple of different options. This list is editable depending on your needs and what you're using in the shop. But you can also look up their company record. You can look up a certain contact, or even a purchase order if a vendor is calling in about specific information. In the middle column, I'm displaying an instrument called Quick Products. Most relevant for maybe your CSRs or your project managers, someone who's answering phones and needs to start a job fairly quickly. If I click on digital prints, what it'll do is it will open straight into my digital print product, allowing me a quick way to start their estimate and move on with their order process. In my right-hand column, I have a pretty common example for tracking jobs through the system. However, this is a very simple example. If you have specific needs for a certain department within your shop, you may set these instruments up slightly different. You might have more information available to you. But in this example, I'm looking for all WIP orders that are open within the shop. And then I have a line item explorer to show me what is within that particular order for it. So if I click on one of the orders up here, it'll show me what is in that option down here, and it will update dynamically. A couple things to note about this Explorer screen is you do have a right-click menu available to you, so you can open the job, you can print reports based on that job. You can change status or station. Some of these options are permissionable, so depending on your permissions, you may or may not see everything that I'm displaying on the screen. But I have the ability to choose columns. So if I don't need all these columns, if I'm not in a position where balance outstanding is relevant, I can click and drag that back into the column chooser and remove it from my column so that my columns reflect what information I actually need to see in order to do my function or my job within the organization. Similarly, I can also add different options to that particular column. So maybe I'm using the associated order number. I can add that. Maybe I have in my shop, I have second salespeople. So I have a primary salesperson and a secondary salesperson, and I need to be able to see who those people are. So I can just simply click and drag them to the screen and reorganize my screen as needed. If I'm going to make any changes to my dashboard, you do have to remember that you need to save said changes. So in the top right-hand corner, there is an option to save dashboard, or if I'm cloning someone else's to make my own dashboard, I can do a save dashboard as, and it'll give me an opportunity to rename this dashboard something specific for just myself. Depending on your job function, you might have these Explorers limited to just a certain station. So if I was just the design department, maybe I only wanted to see this one job because it's in my station and it's waiting for me to work on it. So I can definitely limit any of these Explorers to specific criteria based on what I can sort on. If you wanted to get even more advanced in your search criteria or in your criteria to build your instruments, you can reach out to your point person, or you can look for the detailed dashboard dashboard video on the training web pages. You go to SiriusSoftware.com/customer, navigate to training, and then basic training, and then type in dashboard into the search menu, and you'll see the in-depth training video available for reference. The other common way to look up jobs or to make changes to jobs is through the Explorer screens. So on our toolbar, we have an option here for Explorer, and it gives us options to do multiple things within the shop. So I can explore orders, estimates, shipments, companies, contacts, vendors, maybe activities. Again, depending on your permissions, this menu may look slightly different for you. But if I explore orders, it will pull me back an instrument or a screen that looks fairly similar to my whip instrument. And then I can limit that based on what I want to see and for what time period if I'm looking up historical records. I also have a right-click menu here to print reports, clone, change jobs, change status, and move through the different options. Maybe I want to export this grid because I need just the raw data available to me. You can export. You also have the column chooser available here as well to change what columns you see and which ones are relevant to you. If you have any further questions about how to use Explorers or to use dashboards, please reach out to your point person or join us on the startup webinar at 11 Central. The login information is available at the top of your training pages, and we would be glad to have or answer any questions that you have about finding or editing your jobs. Thank you and have a great day.